And I have to tell you this, you're going to write this down. The only one I've held on to is Vyral Marketing.
Awesome.
Yeah, I spent
Awesome.
a lot more money on radio ads. I spent a lot more money, not a lot more, but I spent money for sure on magazine and newspaper advertising with like zero results, which kind of shocked me. I thought I'd get some, but at the end of the day, nothing has been as good as the Vyral Marketing. So that's the only thing I'm keeping, and there's a reason for it.
Oh, I appreciate that. So, I mean, how are you able to track that out of curiosity? Because that's one of the questions a lot of people ask us is, well, I've never seen any direct ROI from that type of marketing. How do you justify the expense? How do you see the results in the program?
Well, I mean, the program has two purposes for me. One, obviously, to generate business, but two, as a way to stay in touch with my clients. Like, Mike Ferry coaches me, sends out a mailer, send out a mailer once a quarter. Okay, well, I get some response, but that is more, in my opinion, kind of a form of branding and staying in touch. For me, it's a way now with my database the size it is to, it's like almost like making a phone call to those 4,000 some people that are in my database and providing something of value. So, I mean, I've had several people, there's several ways in which it comes to me. One, I'll get direct responses. Hey, Hal, saw your email. I hear the market's good. Thinking about selling my house. Great. So I might get a listing from that. Friends are moving into town. They want to buy a house. Great. I might have got a source of a lead somehow, but my lead follow-up wasn't that good. But they got my videos, and they called me back because of my videos. And that's probably the best source I've had for this particular, for Vyral Marketing.
Awesome. That's great. I appreciate that. So
Sure.
Before you get started, what were some of your initial fears or frustrations before you get started with us?
Oh, would I be any good on camera? What am I going to say? Like it was totally unknown to me. So I had probably all the same fears anybody else was going to have.
Yeah.
But probably the two biggest is what would I say? How would I do on camera? Would I look stupid? The normal stuff. Right.
Very cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they do. Everybody has those fears. It's like, oh, gosh, I don't know what I'm going to say, or I don't want to look dumb in front of my database. I'm really worried about sending out a video that doesn't look, completely professional like a commercial. Oh, yeah, we hear it a lot.
Yeah.
So how did you overcome that? I mean, your videos are fantastic. I mean, you do a great job when you're on camera. Do you just feel like you have the personality for it? I mean, how did you
Well,
get?
I had to. I had to. As my business evolved, I had to become a better presenter. And if I would have had Vyral Marketing, quite honestly, 10, 12 years ago, probably wouldn't have been as effective because I don't think my presentation skills were as good. And honestly, it's made my skills. It's made me have to raise my game. Because I see some of the other videos, I'm always trying to capture ideas from everybody else, no matter what it is, whether it's viral or other sorts of business ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So I see people that are doing things right, and I see people that probably need some improvement, and so I try to use that to my benefit.
Very cool. Very cool. So back to the marketing that you were doing before. Now, you said you really weren't doing anything before, mainly just prospecting and following up with people, kind of following the Mike Ferry model there. Were you doing anything other than doing those quarterly, the mailings? Were you doing anything else to stay in touch with your database?
Not really, and I haven't been systematic enough on the mailing. In fact, I get people that, okay, I got a designer who's going to design these postcards and mail, and I say, hey, you're in charge. Call me once a quarter. Remind me. I will give you the business. You just need to remind me because in my office we get so busy we forget. So one of the great things you guys do is you constantly remind us, hey, it's time for a video. Okay, so that accountability you provide definitely has value for those of us that may not be as structured on things that aren't day-to-day.
Awesome. And kind of back to the ROI thing. As far as referral and repeat business, where would you say before you started with Vyral? Where would you say your business came from? Was it mostly was it follow up? Was it like FSBOs or expireds, or where did you see most of your business coming from?
No, mostly my database.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say 60-70% past client sphere of influence. So for me specifically, I have a lot of out-of-town clients or older people that might move away. So it's important for me to kind of branch out just beyond my past clients, and I've done a pretty good job over the past, 5-6 years of adding to my database.
Mm-hmm.
But now I talk to anybody, if I'm prospecting and I'm calling an out-of-town owner, saying, hey, are you interested? No, I'm not. Well, I either have a lead and they say, yes, we want to do something, or I get an email. So I have two purposes. One is like, hey, small changes in the market can have a huge effect on the value of your investment here. Obviously, you want to be in touch with the marketplace. What's your email address? I will keep you posted. And so expanding that database has been very, very helpful and important for me. So it just plays in on multiple levels on how I get business and how I can use that database and how I can use Vyral.
Awesome, and I got to commend you. I see the emails coming across from you and your team all the time of, hey, can you add this person to my database? Hey, can you add this person to my database?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's so fun because I'll have somebody that has a property here. They live in the Bay Area. I'm on the Central Coast of California, and then at the I'll call them and say, hey, I got a buyer looking for a place like this. Well, no, but I get your videos. Thanks for keeping me posted. If I ever need anything, I'll call you. Well, how cool is that? I never have to call them again, just because I'm staying in touch and providing relevant content for them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, you said you've gotten some people that respond back directly to the emails. You said you've gotten some people that, call you up from that stuff. Do you have any specific stories or examples of situations where you've seen kind of a direct return from doing the video specifically?
I think one was, I'm not sure how the people met me, but somehow, well, two things. One, I got an email from someone the other day, and I don't even know how they got my website. I think somebody passed it on, or my videos, and the guy said, hey, we're having trouble with our agent. We want to hire you. Will you come list our house or talk to us about it? Absolutely. So it's probably can be the best pre-listing package possible, because they get to see who you are versus, a resume or a list of references or, a list of homes you've sold. They really get to see who you are. So, I honestly haven't scratched the surface, in my opinion, of leveraging the Vyral system, but I get a lot of benefit anyway. And then I sold one of my more expensive listings last year. I listed a house for $1,475,000, and they called me because of my videos.
Wow.
So that's,
wow.
It's done, paid for, and, so that just pays for it, and then everything else is just gravy, So
that's great.
Plus I can knock out a video in 10 or 15 minutes. I got to spend some time thinking about my content, but anyway, it's very efficient with my time. I like that as well.
Awesome. Well, if you could pick one thing, what would you say the number one thing that you enjoy most about working with Vyral Marketing?
I love the fact that if I continue to do this and build my database, I really can potentially cut down on my prospecting someday to an extent and have a recurring business instead of having to reinvent the wheel all the time. So it provides me as a venue to reach those people, to provide something of value. And if they're thinking about real estate, they're definitely going to click on my video. And if they're thinking about doing something, they're definitely going to watch it, and then they're going to call me. So, that's it in a nutshell. You guys are great. You provide amazing support and customer service. But at the end of the day, the way it makes my business easier and come to me more is what I love the most.
Sure. So leverage is a big aspect of it for you as well, on top of the return. Being able to leverage that.
Oh, without a doubt, it's leverage. Yes, without a doubt. Yes.
Awesome. So if you had somebody come to you saying, Hal, you know what, I'm thinking about doing this Vyral Marketing thing, what would be something that you would recommend to somebody before they get started with the service? Is there anything you'd recommend to somebody?
Well, quite honestly, you got to make sure you're a pretty good presenter. You're filming a small commercial. So and there's nothing more important when you're in real estate than having good presentation skills. So if you have to take a little bit of time and make sure you run a few samples and make sure you're smile, I used to be too serious. I went, gosh, I don't smile. My listing percentage on listings I take has gone up because of Vyral, because I'm recording myself. It's like, that is a weird thing I'm doing. I got to stop doing that. So it's really a great feedback system for becoming a better presenter. So the only thing I would hesitate anyone on is, take a little bit of time, improve your presentation skills, do some things in front of the camera so that you look and feel natural. So you're like Dan Rather on the news rather than someone, at a high school level. If that makes sense.
Well, and you come across very real. I've had the wonderful pleasure of actually meeting you in person in the past, and between you on camera and you in person, I feel, it's the same person to me. I feel like I get to know you anyways, which is fantastic. You do a great job.
Well, and that just comes with a little bit of practice. I was not always that way, trust me. So that's a learned skill. So, it's easy to get nervous, and I rarely do now when I do those videos, but at first it's like, okay, what am I going to say? And if you can just have a conversation with the camera, and, Mike's a great guy to watch, and there are other people who do these videos that are great to watch, you can learn from that, and then it helps your business in two ways at once, which is good.
Awesome. And then just, the last question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to refer Vyral Marketing to your friends or coworkers?
I recommend it. Yeah, anybody calls me, I tell them I can't recommend it enough.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
If they follow a little bit of your guys' advice, meaning if you have 3 people in your database, okay, you're not going to benefit from it. But if you're building your business and you want to build a long-term, duplicatable business, it's very valuable.
So how do you add to your database? Obviously you're calling, you're prospecting a lot. Is that really your focus of how to add people, is just through the prospecting and new people you contact?
Well, yeah. Honestly, this is a quick little story here, but, I would get everybody's permission, and I'd add them. And then I'd been at it for about a year and a half, let's say, and we do a Christmas event for friends, clients, and so forth, and I wanted everybody to get this announcement about this Christmas event. So I told my assistant, I said, tell you what, don't just take people out of our database. Take every email address I have and send this viral video out. So I went from approximately 1,300 people to about 4,300 people that got my video in one fell swoop back in November, let's say. And I realized that there's no reason virtually not to put everybody I know in that database, and there'll be a few people that opt out or their address is wrong. But the benefit you get from it is there's nothing to lose. It's like, should I call this person or not? Just call them and find out. Should I put this people's email address in my email database? Just put it in. So, that's critical. I do it by contacting a lot of people. I talk to them on a regular basis. I get my videos. No. Is it important for you to know about real estate? Yes. Or whatever my little script is at the time. There's just 1 or 2. And I add them to my database. And 99% of the time they like it. Small percent don't, but I'm not worried about them.
Yeah. No, and again, I got to give you full credit. You do a great job of growing the database, and then the results show it too. That everybody opts in or requests to be contacted. You have phenomenal open rates and phenomenal click rates on your videos and emails.
Cool. That's my goal. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you actually look at the open and click reports when we send those out? Do you use those reports at all?
I glance at them. Yeah, I glance. Yeah, I go through them. I don't. Again, I'm not leveraging it enough. So you've got, hey, these 3 people want to get information. Like, oh God, I should call those people. So, do I need to get better at that? Yeah. So you guys are generating business for me that I'm not capitalizing on, unless they just come knocking on my door. So I got to do a better job with that for sure. But I do look at that, and part of what I look at is go, geez, I've only done 1 video these last 2 months. I got to get 2 out. So all the metrics you give, who's opening, who's talking to, it's all very valuable. It's just actually kind of daunting because of the number of people.
Sure, for sure.
But
well,
I'm always shocked. I have to say, the other thing I love about it, I didn't mention this earlier, Andre, is I'll look and I'll go, oh my gosh, that person watched my video? I haven't talked to them in years. That is awesome. I should call them. It's just an amazing, good system you got. So I love it.